चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। तव कथामृतम् तप्त जीवनम् रविवीतम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदातृतम् विगुणन्ति ते भूरिदा जना। श्रीनन्दनन्दना यशोदा जीवना हे दामोदर हे श्री माधवा। जैसे श्रीमद् भागवतम के 9 कैंटो जो है उनको सिर्फ धड़ तक बोला जाता है कि भगवान की धड़ तक है, और भगवान का जो मुख है वो जो है वो 10th कैंटो है। फिर भगवान की आंखें 11th कैंटो है ऐसा बोलते हैं, और 12th कैंटो भगवान का सर है। लेकिन उसमें एक चीज बोली जाती है कि जो रास पंचाध्याय है, यानी कि जो 5 जो रास है, जो 5 गीत है भागवतम के, वो श्रीमद् भागवतम के का हृदय है, प्राण है। और उसमें सबसे जो प्रोमिनेंट है वो है गोपी गीत। गोपी गीत जो है उसमें गोपियों का विरह वेदना, हालांकि वो तो भ्रमर गीत में भी और वेणु गीत में भी और प्रणय गीत में भी है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से गोपी गीत के अंदर गोपी ने रासलीला की, ये गोपी गीत को जो रासलीला है उसको बहुत ही ज्यादा प्रोमिनेंट इसलिए माना जाता है क्योंकि रासलीला वॉज नॉट ओनली फॉर द सेटिस्फैक्शन ऑफ द लॉर्ड, वो केवल कृष्ण की ही सेटिस्फैक्शन के लिए नहीं थी। जो रासलीला थी वो असंख्य ब्रह्मांड के जितने भी ऋषि मुनि संत हुए उन सब की जन्मों जन्मांतर की तपस्या का को पाने का, फल प्राप्त करने का एक प्लेटफॉर्म थी। रासलीला के अंदर नित्य सिद्ध, साधन सिद्ध, कृपा सिद्ध, ये सब तरीके की गोपियां थी। कितने पुरुष जो है वो भी गोपी स्वरूप धारण करके उन्होंने रासलीला में पार्टिसिपेट किया। जैसे गोपेश्वर महादेव गोपेश्वर गोपी बन के, अर्जुन अर्जुनिया गोपी बन के, और नारद मुनि नारदीय गोपी बन के आए। लेकिन जब रासलीला शुरू हुई थी तो बीच में ही राधा रानी जो है वो रास क्रीड़ा को, रास जो लीला हो रही थी उसको छोड़ के चली गई, और जैसे ही वो छोड़ के गई कृष्ण भी उनके पीछे पीछे चले गए। तो ये रासलीला के कितने गुजर सीक्रेट है, वो जो सीक्रेट्स है सारे के सारे वो आपको इस गोपी गीत में पता चलेंगे। मतलब ऐसे ऐसे तरीकों से आपको ऐसे ऐसे रहस्य जानने को मिलेंगे जो कभी आप सोच भी नहीं सकते थे। इसको शुरू करने से पहले एक बार हम नोट पढ़ते हैं फ्रॉम द एडिटर. In the early 1990s, a small group of sannyasis and other devotees were regularly visiting Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj for the guidance and instruction. Seated sometimes in his quarter in Vrindavan, sometimes in Mathura, Srila Maharaj answered their questions and explained to them the deep inner meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam through the writings of our Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas. One of the main topic of discussion was Gopi Gita, songs of separation from Krishna, which they sang piteously after he had left the rasa dance. 5,000 years ago, the great sage Srila Sukadeva Goswami mercifully revealed the Gopi's divine song during his recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam to the saintly king Parikshit Maharaj. As they sat together on the bank of the Ganga, surrounded by numerous sages and self-realized souls, those Gopi Gita verses later manifested as Srimad Bhagavatam's Canto 10, Chapter 31. The most elevated, sacred, and confidential subject, Gopi Gita, is far beyond the comprehension of conditioned soul. Therefore, with the deep compassion, certain recipients of the Gopi's mercy have written commentaries on its verse. Sri Narayan Goswami Maharaj explained. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu respected Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary. Using that as a foundation, Srila Sanatana Goswami established Mahaprabhu's beautiful mood of bhakti in his own commentary on 10th canto. Srila Ji Goswami gave further light to the explanation with his Vaishnav Toshini commentary, and then accepting both commentaries as remnants, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur extracted their ambrosial essence and composed his own. These Acharyas' commentaries were carefully handed down and taught by the self-realized spiritual master in disciplic succession, all of whom were immersed in the sublime truth wherein, then in 1966, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, famous throughout the world as Srila Prabhupada, carefully carried the ancient Vedic culture to the West. He did this for the purpose of creating a worldwide platform upon which the troubled people of this iron age of quarrel and hypocrisy could access these hidden truths. In his summary study of Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he introduced the verse and commentaries of the Gopis' song in English and also translated over 60 volumes of Vedic literatures. He did this in the order to bring this worldwide audience to its gradual understanding. Then, in order to further illuminate this divine topic, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj gave elaborate explanation of the Acharya's contribution in his series of English discourses in 1990s. These discourses were unique because although Srila Narayan Maharaj had previously spoken in Hindi on this subject to his senior students in Vrindavan and Mathura, this was the first and the only time he spoke about it so extensively in English. He stated in his discourse on verse 2. Some of this explanation is from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. There are also points that he has not explained, and in those cases, I have taken the explanation from Srila Jiva Goswami's commentary and also from my heart. Srila Narayan Maharaj's English audience consisted of disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and he revealed something to them of his own service to their Gurudev. I feel that I am serving him. He told them, I feel this in my heart. Therefore, I do not care for my own time. I take it as my bhajan sadhana and I am helping you all. I pray that he will bestow his mercy upon me, and he will tell my Gurudev also to bestow his mercy, because they were blossom friends. Where some of the devotees in his audience suggested that a book of compiled of his wonderful discourses, he agreed, and he added that although the book would be available to all people and everyone would benefit, it would be especially precious to qualified person. Several years later, in 2005, while the editor was preparing the manuscript of his discourses, Srila Maharaj began his formal Hindi Bhavanuvad translation of the Sanskrit commentaries of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Jiva Goswami, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on Rasa Panchadhyaya. These 5 chapters, which describe Sri Krishna's Rasa dance and other related pastimes and his Gopi beloved, are considered to be Panch Prana, the 5 life air of Srimad Bhagavatam. The editors had the fortune of being able to read the English translation of Srila Maharaj's pre-published manuscript of the commentaries of Gopi Gita, which is one of those 5 chapters, and that helped a great deal in preparing this presentation of his lecture. Sridhar Swami's commentary entitled Bhagwartha Deepika, which means illumination on the inner meaning of the moon. Srila Jiva Goswami is the author of Vaishnava Toshini commentary, which means bringing satisfaction to the Vaishnavas, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us Sarartha Darshini, means revealing the essential meaning. The editor asked Srila Narayan Maharaj if he would kindly give a name to the written form of his own discourses, his spoken commentary, and he named it Bhav Prakashika Vriti, which means a commentary that illuminates the moon. Srila Maharaj has used many Sanskrit terms in his commentary, which are usually explained in English, either in the text or in a footnote. Where you find the explanation insufficient, you are invited to turn to the glossary. Where a footnote does not include a specific reference site, it has usually been taken from one of the glossaries of Srila Maharaj's other books. Following the tradition of our spiritual preceptors, he used standard diacritics marking to indicate the pronunciation of the Sanskrit words pronounced like a in father, I like a. Anyways, this is what I'm doing. Attached to the inside back cover, other find a CD of Srila Maharaj singing of the 19 verse of Gopis, as well as the first 2 verses of the text chapter that describe Krishna reappearing to the Gopis. And finally, the CD also contains 2 audio lectures given by Srila Maharaj in English, which elaborates on some of the personal and philosophical truths surrounding Gopi Gita. We humbly beg you to forgive any mistakes made by us in compiling Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj presentation. Introduction. Upon seeing Krishna dancing with all the other gopis, at the same time dancing with her, Radhika left the Ras dance in a sulky mood. Introduction. Gopi is a part of Rasa Panchadhyaya, the 5 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam that relates Ras Leela. The body has 5 kinds of life air, Panch Prana, residing in the heart, and among these 5, one is the most vital. The 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are likened to the 12th part of the body. The 10th canto is the heart of that body. Anyways, I take my words back now. The 10th canto is the heart of the body. Within that heart, The 5 chapters that constitute Rasa Panchadhyayi are its 5 life heirs. Among them, Gopi Gita is the foremost. Why I'm taking my words back? Because मैंने explanation की ओर से ही अभी recently सुना था, तो मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आया था कि मैंने पहले ये पढ़ा था कि जो श्रीमद् भागवतम का जो हार्ट है वो 10th canto है. We begin our discussion on on Gita, Gopi Gita, by remembering the chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam that describes the gopis' worship of the goddess Katyayani Devi to attain Krishna as their husband. The 5 verses to this chapter states, Hemante Prathame Masi, Nanda Vaja Kamarika, Cherur Havisyam, Bhunyana, Katyayani Archana Vrutam. During the first month of the winter season, the young unmarried girls of Golok observed the vow of worshipping goddess Katyayani. For the entire month, they ate only unspiced khichdi. The gopi who observed the vow to worship Katyayani were young and married. What then was Sri Krishna's age at this time? Krishna had left Gokul at the age of 3.5. According to Srila Vyasadeva and Srila Sukadeva Goswami, he was 7 years old when he lifted the mountain Giriraj Govardhan on the little finger of his left hand. After he lifted Giriraj, all the elder and their priest gathered together and told Nanda Baba, you should not treat Krishna as if he were your son. He is actually not your son. He may be a demigod, or perhaps he is God himself, or something like God. So he had heard that Narayan himself has come in the form of Krishna, and perhaps it is true. So you should not treat him like an ordinary boy. Do not bind his hands. Do not chastise or punish him. He is only 7 years old, and yet he lifted a mountain like Govardhan. How is this possible? This is indeed mysterious. Oh, Nanda Baba laughed. I've heard that gopis only become mature and intelligent at the age of 80. They cannot properly decide anything before then because their minds are not fixed. Krishna is just an ordinary boy. God has far more good qualities than even the perfected saints. Such saints do not become angry. They are not disturbed by hunger, thirst, or any other material distress. They do not steal or tell lies, but Krishna does everything. Krishna tells lies, he weeps, becomes angry, he plays tricks on people, he is naughty in so many other ways. He sometimes cries for butter and sugar candy. If he does not get what he wants, he becomes furious and hurls all the items in our home onto the ground and then scattered them here and there. This is conclusive proof that he is not God. In any case, even if you would insist that he is God, he is still my son. So I will admonish and punish him and treat him as a father should treat his son. Nanda continued to laugh at the notion that Krishna is God. The Yogamaya came, and by her influence, everyone present forgot this idea. This incident took place during the month of Kartik, when Sri Krishna was 7 months old. It was just after Kartik that the gopis worshipped Katyayani. There were 2 groups of gopis, married and unmarried. Although it was the unmarried gopis who worshipped Katyayani, the married gopis like Lalita, Vishaka, Srimati Radhika also had Purvarag. Purvarag means the gopis' tender love for Krishna before the first intimate meeting with him. This is because although they had met with him so many times, They always felt the excited anticipation of a first meeting. The unmarried gopis were somewhat younger than the married gopis. Srimati Radhika is 13 and a half years old and Krishna is 14. Lalita is 37 days older than Srimati Radhika and Vishaka was born on the same day as Radhika. Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari are a little over 12 years, so they are about 1.5 years younger than Krishna. So this means that when Krishna was 7 years old, the gopis who were engaged in worship of Katyayani were about 6, but they already had love and affection for him. Their love for Krishna was not kama, amorous affection, because kama is not possible at such stage. They loved him deeply, but without kama. तो रासलीला को लेकर जितने लोगों को डाउट है, doubt gets clear here, they were only 6 years old. Krishna told those gopis engaged in the worship, next year during the autumn season, I will fulfill your desires. And then a year later, when Krishna was about 8 years old, he played his flute to call the gopis to the Ras dance. It is said that Krishna was in Vrindavan until he was 10 years old, and within that time, he performed Ras Leela as well as all his Vrindavan pastimes. In other words, he appeared to be 14 years old when he was actually only 10. And the gopis also appeared to be older than they were, speaking in humorous mood, typically of the playful nature of the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. Srila Vishnu Thakur has said that they grew up very quickly because they used to eat so much butter and sugar candy. In actual fact, the reason they appear to be teenager is because of the influence of Yog Maya. योग मैंने क्या रखा कि गोपियां जो थी वो देखने में बेशक टीनेजर लग रही थी, but they were all 8 years old, 6 years, 6.5. In the previous verse, some of the young unmarried gopis had been personified Vedic scriptures called Shrutis, and they had known as Shruti Chari gopis. ठीक है, लिख लो, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, ये स्क्रीनशॉट मत लेना. Some had been personified Upanishads and are also known as Upanishad Chari gopis. Upanishad Chari gopi means the Shruti Chari gopis or Upanishad Chari gopis also perform austerities to attain perfection. Since they originally manifest from Shabd Brahman, the transcendental sound vibration of the Vedic scriptures are not Kaya Vyuha, or direct expansion of Srimati Radhika. In other words, they did not originally manifest from Goloka. Okay. Some had been sages from the Dandakaranya forest, Dandakaranya Rishi. Some had been princess, Rajkumaris from Janakpuri. Janakpuri की राजकुमारियां भी थी, हाँ, बालराम को देखने के बाद. And daughters of demigods, देव कन्यास. बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. तो मैंने बोला था ना, आपको बहुत कुछ रिवोल्यूशन होगा और बहुत कुछ जानने को मिलेगा. तो डेफिनेटली इसमें गोपियां जो थी वो दंडकारण्य से भी थी. इसमें जो गोपियां थी वो राजकुमारियां भी थी जनक महाराज के टाइम से, और इसमें जो गोपियां थी वो देव कन्याएं भी थी, और कुछ जो थी वो श्रुतिचारी गोपियां थी, और कुछ जो थी वो उपनिषदचारी गोपियां थी. Among the gopis, some had the association of Nitya-Siddha gopis, and they had Purvarag. These gopis easily entered the Rasila whether they were married or not. The unmarried gopis were already betrothed, and therefore they had thought of Krishna as a beloved in the paramount mood, यानी कि पारकीय भाव उसे कहते हैं. sorry, paramount mood में. On the other hand, the married gopis who had Puru Rag but did not have the association of Nitya Siddha gopis were stopped from entering. The gopis, the gopis described in the above mentioned verse from Srimad Bhagavatam had association with the Nitya Siddha gopis. We know this because at the end of the month, they invited Srimati Radhika, Lalita, Vishakha, Chitra, and other such gopis to join them in their worship. Okay? This means that they had the association of those gopis, and consequently, they could easily enter the Rasa dance. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Nitya Siddha gopis and those who had their association enter the Rasa Leela without difficulty, whereas the married gopis with sons and daughters were checked by Yogamaya. Even though they had Purura, they could not go. It appeared that it was their husbands who had obstructed them, but actually it was Yogamaya who did so. She had entered the mind of their husbands, fathers, mothers, and the other relatives, influencing them to prevent the gopis from going. In Yogamaya, if the Yogamaya had wanted them to join the Rasila, she would have made duplicate form of these gopis. In this way, the real gopis would have been able to leave their homes unnoticed and enter the Rasila. However, she could not help these gopis because they had some traces of consciousness that it was not favorable for fully developed paramour love in relation to Krishna. यानी कि पारकीय भाव. They still had the conception, this is my husband and these are my children. Their affections are not solely for Krishna, but had shared with many others. ध्यान रखना इस बात को. Krishna is envious lover. So if you want to take the mercy of Krishna, you'll have to learn to love only Krishna. No mother, no father. हे भगवान, कैसे भगवान के चक्कर में फंस गए हम लोग. The affection was not solely for Krishna, but was shared with many others. We are now beginning the devotional process. If our eternal spiritual form is that of a gopi, we will develop an increasing taste to serve as a gopi. We will gradually be able to perform sadhana like Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and in other way we will develop a yearning to be like the gopis. Now this is our preset situation. By reading books on this subject, we must clearly define our goal. Success is sure if as we read and remember, we long to attain that goal. I must have that mood one day. I will not accept any other goal. We must be completely uncompromising, not accepting any other goal, no matter who offers it. We should think, even if Krishna himself comes and wants to offer me an alternative goal, I will not accept it. If Krishna will say, please become my Sakha, no. I want to become a gopi, and that's through the gopi who is a servant of Radharani. Who can be so determined? Only those with the swaroop of a gopi can act in this way. Almost all the associations of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have this kind of swaroop. Although there are few exceptions, such as Murari Gupta, who is Hanuman, the pastimes of Lord Sri Ramachandra, Anupama, another eternal brother of Sri Ram, Hanuman, and other elevated associates whose sarup is different from that of the gopis, have no taste for this subject matter, even if they hear about it. The same is true. The same is true of Srila Haridas Thakur because he was Brahma. According to description of his character in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his sarup was not that of a gopi. Brahma is the original guru in our sampradaya. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, he prayed to attain the dust from the lotus feet of the Brajvasis, but he did not state clearly that it would be the gopis' lotus dust. Uddhava, on the other hand, specifically prayed for the dust of the gopis' feet. We see in Brahma Samhita that Brahma performed worship by means of both the Gopala Mantra and Kama Gayatri, but that was only to gain power of creation, not to attain the Gopi Prema. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. 1 year after Krishna made his promise to the Gopi on the full moon night in autumn, he looked at the moon and began to pray his fruit and considered our forefather, our forefather, the moon, has a beloved other than of his wife Rohini. His beloved is Purva Vidisha, the eastern horizon. The most erudite Srila Vyasadev, who knew how to apply all literacy, metaphor, and ornaments, marvelously described the scene as follows. Krishna was seeking the hand of our forefather, the moon, are smeared with kumkum. तो चंद्र वंशी थे तो मून जो है वो उनका एक तरीके से forefather हो गया. So those hands, his rays, are decorating the face of his beloved Purva Disha without any difficulty. And she is shyly accepting that reddish ornamentation. Why should I not do the same? In other words, the reddish ray of the moon radiated throughout the forest, bathing the trees and the river and everything else in it in a red light. In that ambrosial atmosphere, thought of the gopis came to Krishna's mind, and he remembered his pastime to fulfill their innermost desire. He pondered by diffusing the reddish hue of the gentle ray and by glowing with the influence of newly applied vermilion Chandravari or Chandramukhi, has reminded me of my promise and has replaced within my heart the inspiration to fulfill it. This is the perfect moment to me to do it. And then on that full moon night at the autumn season, he played the beautiful melody on his flute, and the gopis came running to him. But when they arrived, he told them to return to Braj. The lady should serve her husband. He said, regardless of his qualities, her husband may be poor of poor or plague with disease, but she should serve him under all circumstances. At first, the gopi did not say anything in reply, but within their mind and heart, they questioned, did he really mean it or he is just joking with us? They observed him closely as he tried to cleverly hide his real intention. It seemed that he was honestly expressing himself in straightforward manner, but in fact, he was not. You see the drama और एक्टिंग का जो शुरुआत हुई है वो भी कृष्ण से ही शुरू हुई है. He was something else but used to pretend to be something else. Finally, the gopis said, "You are our guru, and as such, you are giving us so many instructions. We know that even the presence of God, a person should serve his Guru first. So let us first serve you, our Gurudev, because we return to serve our husband. ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते ताम तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानु वर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वस्य. Or as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respect, O son of Parth. Here Krishna was instructing the gopis and also telling them, I am God, so you should obey me. Gopi replied, we agree that if you are God, we should certainly obey you. But our first duty is to serve our Gurudev. Then we have executed an order and we will obey the instruction. We'll obey your instruction to serve our husbands. Our second consideration is that we know that God is our father, God is our husband, God is everything. So if you are God, then you are both our husband and our Guru. In every way, if you do not accept our services, you will be guilty of acting against the principle of religion. You are giving us instruction on religion principle, but you should practice this yourself. At last, Rasa began. Krishna danced with Srimati Radhika in the center of the circle of the gopis, and at the same time he danced with others of the gopis comprising the circle. It is not that he expanded into as many manifestation of himself as they were gopis, but because in Vrindavan all his pastimes are free from the mood of opulence. Rather, he danced so quickly like a firebrand orbiting in a circle that it simply looked as if he were constantly, simultaneously dancing with himself. This pastime would have been Aishwarya Leela. Instead, he was engaged in the human-like pastime. More important point. Huh? Many commentators have written that Krishna manifested his Karya Vyuha, direct expansion of his personal form. When he was dancing in Ras Leela, but Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that this is not you. So he refutes the idea that the expansion of Krishna's form performed this pastime, asserting that if his expansions had done so, it would be a Leela of Vaikuntha. He explained that in the fact only Krishna's original Swayam Rupa performed this transcendental pastime. We thus conclude that Krishna moved like a lightning flash from the gopis to gopi, dancing with each one in turn. Srimati Radhika saw that Krishna was dancing with her, and then she cast her gaze over all other gopis, and she saw that Krishna was dancing with each of them as well. Each gopi thought Krishna is dancing only with me. Radhika alone could see him, Krishna, with each and every gopi. So Krishna's performance of Rasila in this way manifesting Aishwarya by bringing forth expansion of his form, but in fast wheeling from gopis to gopi was certainly miraculous. Moreover, he performed many varieties of activities with the gopis as they danced together. He asked one gopi if she were fatigued, he gently wiped drops of perspiration from the face of the other, and he fastened the ankle belt on the ankles of other. With each and every gopi, he engaged in various interactions, and thus each gopi become maddened in their love for him. The gopi's madness here is in which they were intoxicated by their own good fortune is called Subhagya Mother. Tasma Dastasam Tad Sobhaga Vikshayamanam Cha Keshava Prashmana Prashmaya Prasadaya Taitaryavan Taradhiyat. Lord Keshav, seeing the gopis too proud of their good fortune, wanted to relieve them of this pride and show them further mercy. Thus he immediately disappeared. It is stated here that the gopis as an entire group exhibited both Subhagyamat and the Mam. However, if we take a closer look at the meaning, it becomes apparent that Man was only exhibited by Srimati Radhika. Only she could see Krishna's dancing with the other gopis. The other gopis did not see this, and thus they were intoxicated by their good fortune in which they perceived Krishna's dancing with them alone. When a hero is controlled by the heroine thinks himself to be the most fortunate beloved. So this fortune is called Sobhagya, and as it evolves, it brings her to Sobhagya Mother. Generally, Mad means intoxication thought through drinking, but Sobhagya Mad means intoxication from the pride of thinking in all of our breasts, there's no one equal to me in good fortune. Oh my God. Sobhagya Mad. If you're getting this Sobhagya Mad, you will be kicked out and you cannot get the mercy of the Lord. In this state, the gopis become so proud that if they had been aware of Krishna's dancing with other gopis, they would have developed man. Then, in that angry and sulky mood, they would have been completely unable to continue participating in Rasa Leela with the other gopis. Instead, each gopi was conceived that she had Krishna fully under her control, that he was captivated and controlled by her and obedient to her every command. Krishna understood this and considered, I have decided to support all the gopis and fulfill all their most cherished desire. But there is no problem, there's no hope of that happening unless they change their mood. Somehow their pride must be removed. He then saw that Radhika was no longer there in Rasila in her man. She had abruptly left that place and was going elsewhere. Then suddenly Krishna also disappeared as all the gopis began their search for him. Some commentators say that Krishna became invisible, but Vishnu Chakravarti explained that he did not. Rather, he went to nearby Kunja and hid there. ठीक है? Let's stop here. Hare Krishna. Are you excited for this book? Lashwasi, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. बहुत कुछ चीजें पता चला. हरे हरे कृष्णा. Yes, Prabhuji, your voice is slow.
We'll get to know a lot more now.
Yes. Very interesting.
You have something to say?
Yes, Prabhuji. Very interesting book. मेरे को तो दिल कर रहा था कि आप पढ़ते जाओ और हम सुनते जाएं.
हाँ, कोई बात नहीं. We'll just read tomorrow.
और मेरा और एक और मन हो रहा था कि अभी जितना भी हमने पढ़ा ना उसका एक समरी टाइप्स आप बोलो.
हाँ, समरी जो थी वो ये थी कि जो गोपियां थी उनका एक्चुअली में जो मूड था, देखो ये क्या हुआ कि भगवान ने ये बताया है कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये जो रासलीला जो हुई ये ये इच्छा से हुई बहुत सारे वैष्णवों की, क्योंकि ऐसे बहुत सारे वैष्णव थे जिन्होंने जब त्रेता युग में भगवान राम को जनकपुरी में देखा। बहुत सारी गोपियां थी जो जो भगवान राम से शादी करना चाहती थी, ठीक है। और उसके अलावा कुछ गोपियां ऐसी जो ननकारे में ऋषि मुनि थे, कुछ डेमी गॉड्स की देव कन्याएं थी। हाँ, तो ऐसे और कुछ जो थी जो उन्होंने बताया ना, वर्ड इस्तेमाल किया था, क्या नाम है, और जो था ना, शब्द भ्रमण से जो उत्पन्न लड़कियां थी, यानी कि उपनिषदचारी गोपियां, है ना, और क्या नाम है ये, श्रुतिचारी गोपियां।
श्रुतिचारी।
ये श्रुति था और एक वो था ना। तो ये जो गोपियां थी, इनका बड़ा मूड था कि भगवान को कैसे प्राप्त करें। तो लेकिन इनके जो इनका सब कुछ तपस्याएं थी, उन तपस्याओं में और फिर इन्होंने एसोसिएट किया इनका नित्य सिद्ध गोपियों का, यानी कि ललिता, विशाखा, चंपकलता, तुंग विद्या, रंग देवी, सुदेवी। एंड देन इन सब ने धीरे 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 करके, लाइक अपने को प्यूरिफाई किया। ऐसी बहुत सारी गोपियां थी जिन गोपियों के हृदय में था भाव, ऐसा भाव था कि दे जस्ट वांटेड टू बी विद themselves, you know, or they were thinking, oh, my mother-in-law is there, my husband is there, how can I leave them for Raslila? So actually, Yogmaya had made such arrangement so that husbands, they had stopped them and they couldn't go there, you know. So this is also another thing which is very important and very essential for us to understand. कि कृष्ण भक्ति के अंदर you cannot have a second person in their life. You cannot have an extramarital affair. You are married to Krishna once. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत एसेंशियल और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो इस तरीके से गोपियों का फिर बताया था
कैसी बात है ना प्रभु जी, सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू,
हाँ,
कि हमारा कोई नहीं होना चाहिए ना, इफ यू आर रियली इनटू
कृष्ण भक्ति नहीं, अगर कोई हो भी ना तो वो
और
वैसे हो।
कृष्ण कैसा हो सकता है? कृष्ण चाहे जितने
हाँ।
मर्जी पत्नियां करें।
ये तो
हाँ?
प्रॉब्लम है।
हाँ।
वो एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करेंगे ना अगर कोई दूसरा बंदा हमारे और कृष्ण की उनकी भक्ति के बीच में आ जाए तो अल्टीमेटली उनको हमारी जरूरत, हमें उनकी जरूरत है ना, उनको हमारी क्या जरूरत है। ना? तो ये भी एक बात होगी। तो उसके बाद फिर बताया जा रहा है किस तरीके से गोपियां थी, जब सब देख रहे थे राधा रानी वाज द ओनली वन हु कुड सी दैट। जैसे हमारे आचार्य ने कुछ बताया है कि हर एक जो कृष्ण थे वो एक या दो गोपियों के साथ हो गए। कहते हैं इससे भगवान की ऐश्वर्यपूर्ण लीला प्रकट होती है। ब्रज में ऐश्वर्य ना होने के कारण हम लोग भगवान को नंद नटवर बोलते हैं। और नंद नटवर इस तरीके से डांस करते थे कि वो हजारों लाखों करोड़ों गोपियों को ऐसा लगता था दे आर ऑल डांसिंग टुगेदर विद कृष्णा, यू नो, दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम। एंड देन व्हेन द राधा रानी लेफ्ट, कृष्णा लेफ्ट बिहाइंड। अरे हाँ, एक और बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात ये थी, तो राधा रानी ने देखा तो देखा कि हर हर गोपी के साथ एक कृष्ण नाच रहे हैं, लेकिन जो गोपियां थी उनको लग रहा था कृष्ण सिर्फ मेरे साथ ही नाच रहे हैं, और किसी के साथ नहीं नाच रहे, यू नो। ये बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है जो हमको पता होनी चाहिए। हरे कृष्णा। ठीक है,
ठीक है प्रभु जी।
राम चक्र में तो वैसे के पास नमो नमो।